Thomas Warrick is a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. Good to have you back with us, Thomas. It was just a few months ago in February that the US President and Vice President openly berated the Ukrainian leader in the Oval Office, essentially blaming him for obstructing peace efforts with Russia. Now Trump appears to be changing his tune, piling the pressure on Vladimir Putin. What's behind this change?
Good morning to you and to your viewers. The facts are behind this change. Trump believes he's given Vladimir Putin every possible opportunity to reach a negotiated peace, and Putin keeps making him look like a fool. And the one thing that any world leader should appreciate is that if you make Donald Trump look foolish, you are in for trouble. And this is what's happened here. So this is not something that Trump had wanted to do several months ago, but it is something he feels compelled to do right now in order to be taken more seriously when he calls for peace negotiations.
Of course, all eyes now are on Vladimir Putin. We're waiting to see how he'll respond to these threats of more sanctions if Russia and Ukraine don't agree on a peace deal in the next 50 days. How might Moscow respond, do you think?
Well, one thing that was interesting was the stock market in Russia went up because people were expecting something worse. I hope that gets some attention in the White House. But in fact, the threat of secondary sanctions is actually much more serious than many people might realize. Russia exports very little to the United States, but when Trump says secondary tariffs, what he means is that any country that buys products from Russia, like, for example, India or China, will face an enormous additional tariff on its goods until it stops buying oil from Russia. That actually could have enormous impact. Trump is familiar with this kind of economic tool. He used it against Iran during his first administration. And although there are people tonight who are wondering if Trump will, as we say, chicken out on imposing these tariffs, nevertheless, this has to concentrate Vladimir Putin's attention because if Trump were actually to carry these out, it would be a very significant economic blow to Russia.
Yes, because it did seem early on in his term that Trump perhaps believed the power of his personality, his relationship with world leaders like Vladimir Putin might result in peace deals being brokered, especially in this Ukraine conflict. But he's probably realizing by now that Vladimir Putin really doesn't care in that sense, does he?
Well, Putin's, I don't know if he doesn't care. I think what he cares about is his long-term strategic goal to erase the country of Ukraine from the map. And that seems to be a higher priority than cultivating good relations with Donald Trump. And so these are very high stakes. Trump's reputation depends in part on being able to use strength and project influence in world affairs. And right now, Vladimir Putin is making him seem weak. And that is one thing that the Trump administration cannot possibly stand. So I think we're going to see tougher measures. Certainly, the Patriot missiles and other weapons that may be headed to Ukraine that will be paid for by other NATO countries and manufactured here in the United States actually looks like a win-win for Trump and a lose-lose for Vladimir Putin. So we'll see more of that coming up.
Okay, Thomas Warrick, we'll have to leave it there. Great to get your thoughts as always. Thank you.